Well, I got done harvesting on Friday, got the last two goats all today, clean all the next truck. Stuff like that. Last night, we didn't get home till, gosh, after good time.
Listen, I'm old.
Hey, that's the one. That's the poster I have.
Yeah, he was waiting.
She's old. Oh, that's the one that I have.
Oh, that's nice. My Levi is in there. Are there more?
Story, adventure going.
He's sitting on the right there.
Of course, there's always.
Mrs. Shuff, we're live.
Tonight we begin our discussion for our activities committee meeting. And our first topic is fall sports recap.
Okay, I'll start. So all fall sports are completed except for varsity football. They're still alive in the state playoffs. They'll play Stilton High Spire on Friday at 7 o'clock at Selinsgrove High School. Field hockey, new coaching staff. They had a learning curve of a season. Coach needs to put a lot more time in, which she is going to. Her and her staff to build up that program back up. Girls soccer, district runner-ups this year in District 4, advanced to the state playoffs, got a state playoff win. And unfortunately, last Saturday, their season came to an end. Boys soccer, district champs for the first time in 20 years. State playoff victory here at Southern Columbia. It was probably the most exciting game I've ever witnessed in person at Southern Columbia. It was a great game. They lost the next round at North Schuylkill Saturday, just like the girls, but great seasons. Here in the fall, everybody's, done a terrific job. We had some runners for cross country at districts, all young, the roster's young. So the future looks bright there. So that's all I have right now for fall sports.
Does anyone have any questions for Steve? Okay, addition of Southern Columbia golf team.
So been getting some requests lately from parents and students about golf. Right now we have only one varsity golf player at Southern Columbia since we co-op with Danville. That's where he's currently working through right now. Getting a lot of interest though from kids and parents reaching out, especially at the middle school and elementary levels, about starting a golf team. I did briefly speak with Knoebels regarding that. They'd be willing to work with us on giving us a good deal and using their facilities and their course as our home course. And they did say that they were interested in helping us start this program, and they're willing to work with us in a variety of capacities to get it up from the ground running. So Steve could talk more about, some potential costs associated with it. But I know years ago we used to have a golf team up until 2013, correct?
Yeah, I just learned that today, the history of golf. So Southern Columbia had a golf team. Dave Fagley today told me the last year was 2013. So I'm not sure. He doesn't know why. I don't know if anybody else has any history on that, but
They were associated with Lords for a while too, weren't they?
what's that?
Didn't we sent kids to Lords for golf too in the past?
Yeah. But 2013 was the last time we had it here at Southern Columbia. And I can't seem to find the answer why we stopped.
So just thinking from a cost perspective, from our end, Steve and I were just kind of spitballing it. Obviously, we'd have to pay some type of fee to Knoebels, Three Ponds course, and then for a coach. But as far as equipment and such, I mean, all players have their own equipment. They have their own, clubs usually have, they'll have their own, balls, tees, whatever it might be. Maybe the booster programs or whatever, maybe want to get them a polo and a hat or something, but the cost should be fairly minimal, aside from whatever Knoebels will charge us for utilization of the course and whatever we would have to pay for a coach. So I know Central Columbia, numbers weren't discussed with Knoebels, didn't get into great detail with that, but I know Central Columbia, I was talking to their athletic director. They pay Berwick Country Club $2,000 a year to use their course, which is pretty good. And they give their They give their players free membership for the summer months to go as well and practice. So if we could, even get somewhat close to that, might be worth exploring.
So something just to put on the radar. I mean, that's a fall sport or late summer, early fall because of daylight. So it's just something on the radar.
Maybe we could just do a survey and get interest levels first. And just see like what we're talking about. As obviously you guys both know, I don't need to tell you this, but at elementary and middle school, there's no golf teams.
Right.
So it would honestly just be like a practice type squad or something like that, and what they would be willing to do at a reduced rate for kids to go and be a part of that. Just speaking, I know in the school district that I'm from, that they allow the kids to practice with them. So if you're a middle school student, you get to practice with the varsity team, and they do a cutoff. They do 7th grade just because they said,
Yeah.
if you open it up to elementary, it was a little bit crazy, especially for supervision purposes. So we had to have a cutoff at my district that I live in, and they said that I believe it's like 7th grade-ish, they're allowed to practice with the team. But I don't know, Henry, how we would do. Elementary would be a lot, because you know this. You have a little yourself. But there's just, there's making that all happen is maybe a little bit difficult, but again, we also know if you start it with younger group kids, it's likely to feed into a better program.
I think it would be quite difficult to even middle school actually play against other teams in the area. I think that would be strictly for varsity purposes, but having the middle school maybe practice with them, and then even if we could do something with the elementary kids, maybe the parents will be required to go along with them for the practice, just to make sure they're maintaining like the golf etiquette and the golf standards that is acceptable. So we could look at all that, but I do know Knoebels, Three Ponds, they're really excited and interested in working with us to get this thing going too. So we'll.
So golf is a fall sport?
Yeah.
Late summer, they start.
So maybe like in the spring, we do the survey, see what the interest level is, and then go from there.
Okay.
See what the fee is going to be, because we need a coach and an assistant, right?
It will depend on the numbers.
Just on number.
Yeah,
Okay.
most schools, they just have one. So they go to a golf course every day and the kids just go golf. It's the best coaching job in the world.
And you just run around in a golf cart.
Coach right around the golf cart.
Yeah.
The only course usually that you have to do anything as a coach is up in Allenwood at White Deer, if they still play up there. But between 2 of the holes, because of the distance, the coaches cart the kids from the one green to the next tee box because it's a distance. So I can tell you based on local courses, if we had a team, Three Ponds would be the one everyone hates because it's also the most hilly of a course and you have to walk. There's no golf carts. And
I just got a text that Chris Menin's dad was the golf coach here. So I could talk to Chris and we should see.
Cindy, we would probably want to survey earlier than that, just because you know how long it takes
That's
to like
fine.
advertise, get a coach, get everything set
Yeah.
up. So I would think this winter.
I already got a school employee that came up to me. They actually saw it on the agenda and said that he would absolutely be willing to be the coach.
Yeah, you're right.
this
It's
is
the best gig in the world.
The only thing about this that's in school hours is the meets.
Yeah,
And
they leave early, like they get out of school 11, 12 o'clock the day of the meets.
And like districts and stuff are the ones where they're usually in the morning because of how many teams are involved. Because it's not like wrestling. It's not like multiple teams usually are to meet. It's just straight up 2 teams.
Yeah.
That might change.
And it's only top 6. The golfers participate in terms of like the actual matches. You don't actually take like your entire team.
Sounds
This
like Justin's really knowledgeable about
In
this.
high school years.
think-
So
Did you play golf in high school, Jen?
absolutely.
There you
So
go.
I know the division we would be in, I was talking with Central just because of timing purposes, so it might change with that. They went from 18 holes of competition to 9 holes just because it was taking so long. So if they go to 9 holes, I highly doubt we'd be leaving at 11. We'd probably get pushed back more to a normal time if 9 holes is the competition.
So when do you think survey?
I would do it after the holidays, just to
Like
see what the interests are.
January.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we can determine if we think this is something we want to put on an agenda. As far as cost goes, yeah, the costs are going to be minimal. You're going to need a
Right.
polo shirt and a hat, and like you said, a coach. And it sounds like there's already
You
someone that's
might
interested.
honestly even get if you're pay to play, that almost covers it for this, because it might be kids that never, there's different things that'll cover that cost. It's very inexpensive.
Yeah.
You could probably even get a local business to sponsor the polos for the first year and
Oh, yeah.
paper hats or something.
Okay,
Do we want to include elementary and middle school on the survey as well?
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
I would maybe field junior high just to see what your incoming is going to be for the future years. But that would probably be.
I'm not aware of anyone locally that has an elementary program. I mean, Steve, you could ask when you do call around to the other ADs and see.
Yeah.
But I'm not aware.
Three Ponds has a great kids clinic that they run all summer. Them and Sunny Hills locally, they have really good kid clinics.
But you're a golfer, right? The younger you start, the better chance for success, right? Like,
Honestly, I'm getting to the point now where I feel like anybody who has like the willpower to attempt to learn and just get comfortable with it can pick up golf at pretty much any age. I really do feel that way anymore because I have plenty of friends that didn't touch golf clubs up until 5-6 years ago. And I mean, they play right there with people that have been golfing for 15, 20 years in some ways. So mechanic, like in terms of, it's not like baseball, I don't think, where it's one of those that it's kind of like either have it or you don't. I think golf is a very kind of a willed sport. You either want to learn how to do it or it's just of no interest. It's like tennis, I think. But
Yeah.
But
But
they're good
the
programs.
last couple of years at Lord's, I mean, we've only had one or two that would, go over with the co-op. There wasn't like a lot.
And unless they changed the formatting, it was always, you may have had like at Chick, I think we always had somewhere between 10 and 14, 16 kids from freshman to senior year.
Yeah.
And then your top 6 are the ones that actually golf for your meets. And so you basically compete for those top 6 positions at practice.
Yeah.
And then, coach will, if you make top 6, coach aligns you 1 through 6 at where you match against the other team. Some just go straight, players your ones and stuff, but it's kind of neat. Yeah.
And maybe what this would feed into is like a club for elementary. So like kind of like a Tigers club for basketball or whatever. Maybe it would lead to something like that. The next question I have, is this for male and female or?
Yeah. And it's co-ed, it's not.
Yeah, 9 through 12.
Okay.
so this year we only had one. Last year we had two, and I think the year before that.
We had 3. There was a girl.
Yeah.
A couple years
And
ago.
then prior to that, I'm not sure because
All right, so we'll do a survey, we'll get some interest, and then we'll bring it back up after the holidays.
sounds good.
Cash option for sporting events. So as you're aware, there's a new rule in play here, which I'll let Mr. Snyder talk a little bit about because he actually participated in a webinar about this. So basically, the question is do we have to accept cash, yes or no, at sporting events? So I'm gonna let Mr. Snyder speak to this.
Wow, I don't usually get to speak at these particular things. This is nice.
Well, you were there, so.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Shaw. So cash at school activities in the new passed state budget. Thank you for getting the state budget passed. The code languages, school entities must accept cash for admission to school-sponsored activities. In the presentation, I said that's very broadly defined. So that would also be, plays and musicals and, dances and any type of activity. So it's not just sports. Please note that. It does encompass everything we do that's like an event. That's one piece. Again, like I guess the PIAA is doing now, the school district can refuse cash if the bill presented is significantly greater than the fee. So if somebody brings $100 bill, we're not expected to make change for a $10 event, which I think is the same as the PIAA, right?
No, PRAA is exact change.
Okay, so this is different.
So if you show up to, right now in the playoffs on Friday, if you showed up to the game with a $20 bill and said, I want 1 ticket, we were to tell you no. You have to add a $10 bill or 10 ones or whatever.
Or you could buy 2 tickets.
Or you could buy 2 tickets or go online.
Yes.
But everybody was prepared. So
You didn't have to make change, yeah. So this says that, I believe, as I'm reading it, that you would make change, but that, a $50 bill for a $5 event entrance fee is inappropriate. And I get their concept there.
Yeah.
Because you could really quickly deplete your change in the cash fund. Now, this is the part that we've been talking about a little bit internally, cannot charge a surcharge for cash payments. So, I guess we have to define that. And what does that mean to us? Surcharge. Because you're doing $10, currently, or the PIAA, we are helping them collect $10 for these events, right? In
Yes.
cash,
Yes.
yeah. And then, the one that I think is the most dynamic, and something we've been doing here the whole time, is the school district must provide someone to assist individuals struggling with electronic payment. That's very broadly defined, but we already do that.
Yeah, somebody needs help, we help them.
Yeah, simple to say, so we're covered there already. So the only other guidance was, and the question came up from another, the school district about like enforcement or compliance, like how do we do, what do we do? And they said that it's very gray and that it's just developing, and they assume that more information is coming. And they also didn't really say when this takes effect.
So I just talked to a District 4 representative
Okay.
on my way here. He said, when that passed, you have 60 days.
60 days.
I just found that out tonight.
Okay.
He said the PIAA isn't meeting until next month for their lawyers to figure out how are they gonna handle this stuff.
Yeah.
So we don't need to start this Thursday.
Perfect.
I mean,
Well,
we have
that
60
was kind of
days.
the-
I just found this out at 5 of, 10 of, 6.
Well, then,
And I think our recommendation of doing the $10, because I think that was a question that was brought up, was we were just mimicking what PIAA was doing. So we were saying if they're doing it, then this is what we were going to do. So that's what we were recommending. I'm glad you found out, Steve. It's not something we have to rush and make a decision by this week, so we can continue to.
And kick it around a
So
little bit more.
PIAA has to
Yeah.
also follow this now. So like they can't be doing what they're doing either with the $10.
No, they're still doing that.
But I'm saying like right now they can because of the 60-day window.
Correct.
But
But-
after 60 days, they would have to charge at the gate the same essentially as what it is for online purchasing.
There's so many,
It's-
still nobody
I don't
knows.
see where that's typed up anywhere, Justin. That was the question that was brought up to us. I don't see where that's spelled out that it says it has to be the same.
Is that different what they're calling a surcharge
well,
though?
that's what I'm also.
That's what I don't know. So I think this is kind of a gray area. And then when asked, who's gonna monitor this and how are you gonna know? The question mark was, we don't know. So why should we rush into doing this before there's guidelines that are spelled out? So we're not doing anything illegal. So we'll just continue to do what we're doing. And then when guidelines are spelled out that says what we have to do, we'll say, we'll make a change. Does that work for the committee?
That works.
And please remember, if you have a season pass, for local events, season passes are valid, and season passes are, all the people.
Once the change goes into effect with guidelines and an effective date, it won't matter what the board or the school really has to say about it anyway, because you just have to do it.
Yeah,
Correct.
just have to
So just
follow.
wait for them to tell you, you have no choice but to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct. That was going to be what we were going to recommend today, instead of going back and forth and trying. The only good thing that came out is I'm glad Steve found out it's still 60 days anyways, so we don't have to make a decision. We can just wait and see what we want to do, get some more guidance, and then we can share it with you as we
And
know.
maybe it'll be more defined by then. You said they would, yeah, the blame was next.
I was told next month to iron it out, once football's over and before the winter sports championship, so they have an idea what we can and what we can't do with this, you know what I mean?
So
So,
till then, business as
but
usual.
right now they're charging cash more than if you go online. So, but they're still gonna continue that practice until they meet.
Okay,
So,
okay.
but now what do we do if somebody comes up and says, oh, they just passed that? I wanna pay with cash today. We just don't know.
Not in effect yet.
It's not in effect yet.
Well, I mean, why not even then at that point, just to get ahead of it, just do a Facebook post or whatever. That although the school district is aware of these upcoming changes to ticket taking and forms of, as of now, nothing has taken effect, so nothing is doing.
Okay,
Something along the lines of that.
just get it out there.
We'll get some guidance of where that's printed at. Steve,
What's
from
that?
the District 4 person, can you send that to me?
Yeah, well, he just told me on the phone.
Yeah, right, but I'm sure. it's printed somewhere.
Yeah, I'll talk to Jim and we'll send it.
Perfect.
Okay.
Right.
Yep. Any public comment from the public? We want the public. Okay, anybody have anything else for the activities committee meeting?
The other thing I was kind of curious, how's the girls wrestling program going?
So they had close to 40 sign up.
Okay.
Okay, and in wrestling, it's different. You gotta get certified. So you gotta have your body fat taken, different measurements. You gotta be certified at a certain weight class and stuff. So they had 26 that ended up getting certified by our trainer. So practice was, first day Friday. She had a lot of kids. I think, she was in the 20s, so right there. So, you know, today would have been day 2 of practice, so I haven't talked to her this evening, but I will see how things are going.
The new wrestling mat, was that installed yet, or what's the deal with the new wrestling mat?
Yeah, so it was delivered, the coaches on a Sunday, they came and rolled it out. They followed the instructions. It said it needs to stay at room temperature for 12 hours. They inspected it, they taped it, put it up in the hoist, it's up there, ready to go.
Great, you like it though? I know we
Yeah.
talked about the logos and different
Yeah,
things.
yeah, no
Look like
damage
what we
to it.
expected?
Yeah.
Great. Resolute did a nice job.
They did.
Awesome. Great news.
Anything else? Okay, Mr. Davis, we're done with our meeting.
Mrs. Shupp, are we going to go right into curriculum or are we gonna pause?
We're gonna pause until 6:30.
Mr. Snyder, do you just want to hit mute on the mic down there and then you can just unmute it when you're ready to roll?
Confirmed.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
No, I've not heard.
Mr. Davis, can you hear us?
I can.
Okay. at
Yep,
this
we're ready to
time-
roll.
Okay, at this time, we are ready for our curriculum directors meeting and Dr. Dykowski is up.
Okay, so our cyber numbers have increased a little bit this month with just 2 new students into our cyber program.
Intern,
Intern,
just making sure.
yep, our Soco cyber program, yes. We are looking tonight for board approval to start the NASP archery program within the district. To start this process, I have met with Mr. Dell with his sports adventure class, and he wanted to incorporate archery, so we figured we'd open it up to the rest of the PE teachers, see if they want to participate. So we're looking to add archery into grades 4 and then the high school adventure class. So the 2 teachers were able to get grants totaling $2,500 per building. This is through the Pennsylvania Game Commission and then the new NASP school equipment grant, and then also the Aston Foundation. So we were able to cover all the cost of the equipment that we can use in our whole district, and we can certify up to 12 instructors. So once they are trained, we can start to safely teach archery within the district. Yeah, so I had attached on the board document the curriculum for grades 4 and high school. So we think that depending on the student interest with this program, this will allow us to expand into a club. They can actually have additional practices, and then we can compete in state and national tournaments. This was highly regarded by the students because they would like to incorporate this into hunting. Okay, so we had another round of vertical planning in the end of the month of October. We did math, science, and ELA, which was reading and writing. We really focused on consistency within the grade levels, and that was our overall conversation. We emphasized scaffolding the instruction and the requirements that are of our students as they progress through the grades. We are looking for really gaps and commonalities, as well as a way that we can improve curriculum continuity. The staff has been doing a great job of collaborating with each other, and they're sharing their information that they use within their grade levels with each other. So it's been pretty meaningful having these conversations. So we have one more vertical planning session in December, at the beginning of December. This will really continue these conversations, but we're also going to focus on that one, just allowing them to do some work and planning and giving them dedicated time to refine their instruction for the remainder of the year. We can move on to the college credit review. So as we've been planning for the next upcoming academic year, we are looking at the current articulation agreement with Lackawanna College. So we're looking to do some updates to the list to eligible courses that we can offer for credit. We are considering removing our AP courses, and then we are looking to replace them with additional honors level courses, as well as other high rigor courses, just so that we can maintain the total of 8 credits, because we're only allowed to hold up to 30 credits. So with this, students will continue to earn college credit through AP examinations for all AP courses that are conducted here, while we're also giving the opportunity for other students to earn college credit for those higher level honor courses or other high rigor courses. So really, we're just looking to offer some greater flexibility, give the students some more meaningful dual credit opportunities, as well as boost enrollment in those courses that sometimes fall through the cracks because they have smaller numbers, so we don't sometimes offer them. So if we can give them college credit, that might entice our students to take those classes. Let's talk about reading and AR to give some clarification there. So during our meetings, we talked a lot about how we want the students to just have and foster that love of reading. So when we had these conversations, K through 8, we talked about best practices that we can do to encourage reading within our classrooms. So I just want to clarify that with this approach, the accelerated reader, or the AR program that we know, is optional, and the teachers can allow the students to take AR tests, which is points off of a book that they read, but they cannot use it for any grade within any subject area. So they can use AR to track progress, set personal goals, and then they can celebrate student success within using the AR program. Reading logs may continue, and they are encouraged. They will be only used as a reward for reading through some fun incentives that the teachers may do. So the faculty has been encouraged to find alternate ways for students to express their understanding and enjoyment of the issues. So each grade level is looking to maintain consistency with their reading expectations, and then they're making sure that they're establishing those age appropriate selections, and then just watching how progression, and they're going to increase their expectations as the student progresses through the grades. You can go to the CTE and co-op report. So the biggest update for our CTE programming is our occupational advisory committee meetings. Some have already been done. We're looking at criminal justice and ag coming up this week. So we're looking to have that. Students are working on their task list, and they are working towards their industry recognized credentials, which is totally part of their program. Mr. Roten did visit 42 co-op students in October, and he traveled 268 miles. As you can see, our students are working a lot. They are enjoying working. They want to work as much as possible. So year to date, they have made $49,000. And then the last thing I have is our assessments are coming up in 2 weeks. We're going to start our first round of winter Keystone testing. So as a reminder that the Keystone exam is part of the state's graduation requirement, and it is the easiest way for our students to graduate under Act 158. Letters have gone home for all the students that will be testing. And as you can see, we're starting with literature on December 3rd and 4th. Then we move on to biology, and then we'll have makeup days all the way up until December 17th. Any questions? That's all for curriculum.
Questions? I say they say one, so there's a couple, maybe several, one more. Are reading logs no longer graded in elementary? And they used to be able to be part of the grade.
The what, I'm sorry?
Reading logs?
Yes. So some grades are starting them. Some K through 2 are not. 3 and 4 are having them as optional.
Okay.
They are not graded.
They're not
was your
graded.
question,
No,
correct?
not graded.
They are not
I ask
graded.
because once upon a time, you know, you could have a ton of AR points and forget to sign your reading log, and that was the greatest part, and it seems sort of backwards to me. So I just wonder, for Lackawanna, it sounds like we're not really adding kids to honors classes, but we're encouraging, hey, maybe step up if you're not ready for AP, at least step up, take honors. So that'd be the encouragement there, and we're keeping the same amount of 8 credits available. We're just shifting, instead of saying, hey, we'll make our AP course up, it'll be our honors.
Yeah, we're finding other options to get them dual credit while keeping them in-house.
Those, I've asked before, do those programs cost us anything? It's the students that are buying the credit, right?
It costs the students, they have to pay a minimal tuition. So a typical 3 credit class is $100 a credit. So they pay $300 for their credits.
ACE is the same deal.
Yeah, so it's a reduced tuition rate.
Right.
Yeah, but
again, no cost to us.
no cost.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else have any other questions for curriculum? Any questions from the public? Okay. Mr. Davis, we can go offline until the board meeting at 7.
Mr. Snyder, do you want to mute again down there? And that way, when you're ready, you can just roll down there really easy.
I concur.
Thank you, Mr. Snyder.
All right, good evening, everyone. So this is Callie Chesney, and she is our Citizen of the Month, and she was nominated by Mrs. Furman and Mrs. Howard. And I'm going to read a little something about Callie. So Callie is an all-around wonderful student. She is a hard worker, a great leader, and a sincere friend. Callie tries hard to do her best, and she excels in all academic areas. She has an amazing personality, and she brings out the best in her classmates. She is a role model to them, and they look up to her. Callie is kind, considerate, and thoughtful. A thoughtful girl who puts her feelings of others first. Callie volunteers to help other students with schoolwork or with feeling successful and good about themselves. She gives 110% to her academics, and she does it all with a smile. We are very fortunate and proud to have Callie in our classes. Congratulations, Callie, for Student of the Month. I'm going to go ahead and lead us off in the national anthem. You ready? Okay. I.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Congratulations, Callie. Proud of you. All right, welcome everybody to our November board meeting. Actually, if we could have the roll call, please.
Josh Majeski.
Here.
Justin Rodriguez.
Here.
Tony Serafini. Cindy Brassington.
Present.
Drew Hampton.
Here.
Kendall Heeman.
Here.
Josh Hoagland.
Here.
Jim Luke.
Here.
Brianna Majeski.
Present.
The board members present.
Thank you. Moving on to the agenda hearing period. The purpose of the agenda hearing period is to permit residents in the audience to make a statement and board of directors on actions on the agenda. At this time, we'll accept comments from district residents or property owners that are here in person on action items on the agenda.
Hi, Evan Gaikowski, Franklin Township. I just, I guess it's a two-parter for employment of elementary resident coach. Can I just be paid $1, please, instead of $70 or whatever it is? And also, I just wanted to discuss the space in accordance to all the wrestling programs, junior high girls, junior high boys, and elementary wrestling space and wrestling. That was exactly. And okay, I'm gonna keep going.
You're done.
All right. So awesome that, wrestling continues to grow here in Columbia County, Pennsylvania, where they sanction girls wrestling. We have an awesome, new girls head wrestling coach. Our boys team is up and coming. Our elementary is the largest we've ever had. Myself and Nate Shirk are coaching in elementary this year. We have 75 kids wrestling this year from pre-K all the way up to 6th grade. With growth comes space issue. I get it. I'm not here to complain at all. It's wonderful that we have that type of problem. Right now, the way the practices go, it's a shared space with junior high and boys varsity. And then they alternate conditioning, weightlifting with the girls, junior high, and varsity. At which time the elementary wrestling comes in around 5:45, 5:30, and then we're there till about 7:45, 8 with our little guys. It's really cramped. There's a ton of kids. If we had our own space for the elementary portion would be good. We have an extra mat that would be available that we could take to a facility if needed, like wherever that may be. I don't know where that would be. I had kind of poked a little bit around the community and asked some fire halls and some things if we could utilize a space there. They're all kind of tied up for the winter time. But with growth comes, a space for more need, and it would just be great if the elementary wrestling had an area to practice in, to utilize so the girls and boys can continue to spread their wings and fly. I really like that. That's all.
Chris, real quick from a logistical question, like our insurance, can we go off-site for our school?
Well, that was the first question in my mind, Mrs. Jeske. So I would suggest that we'd have to get a rider because our insurance does not currently cover it. Now, if it's our elementary wrestling program, which we sponsor, which is inside of our insurance, I think we'll get clarification on that, but I don't think that's a stretch. But if it was like not our program, then of course our insurance would. So I would need clarification from our insurance, Liberty Mutual, which I can get if you'd like.
Yeah, I mean, in my mind, it kind of seems like, is it different than going to somewhere else for a match? But that's another school facility that has insurance.
Use the other school. Well, it depends. If we're hosting it, like I have had to get additional insurance when we did like the baseball the one time at like Bloomsburg because they have a different field than we do. We actually had to provide insurance for that, particularly because we're not playing Bloomsburg, we're playing some other school district and we were the host or whatever. But so this would be a little different because obviously we're purposefully hosting this in our community.
What about this room?
Can you get the mat in here?
What about this space here? Is this big enough?
Sure, yeah, this would be fine. You know, so previously, all the way back into
Somebody did it
the
in the library.
60s and 70s, where they would actually practice in the cafeteria here.
Yeah.
Then we also had practice in the elementary gym cafeteria space as well, where they would take the mats and literally roll them across the parking lot. And I'm not sure about the library, but as long as the space was, we were able to move the mats in and it was heat. That's all we were looking for.
I think
Space that was large enough for.
What happened to mats? Did we dispose of the old mats? Like,
No, we have a match.
we had mats.
That's why we have it. We just need a spot to go with.
That, he has a match.
So
I
Currently,
think we just need to talk to Mr. Sarchuk about this and come up with a game plan. I definitely think that there's space and timing. I think that we just need to talk to the athletic director and come up with a plan that will meet your needs.
Great, no, that's wonderful. That's all I wanted to say. Thanks.
thank you.
you won't even damage
Chris,
the
the
carpet.
clarification.
For offsite,
Yeah.
of course. Yes, I can.
Any other agenda here for time?
Play with Darren Rupp Township. Just had one quick question on the facility fee schedule. I don't know if that's being voted on tonight or not. But my question was, the fees, is that if it's reserved or if it's used? Like if a team reserves boom, 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 and then they don't use it, do they still pay that fee because they have it reserved, or is it?
That's currently how the system is set up, yes.
Sorry.
That is how the system is set up, yes.
If it's reserved,
As long as they pay their bill.
Fair enough, thanks.
Any other agenda here for period comment? Moving on to the superintendent.
Hi, yes. So going to go a little bit out of order. Our student representatives are here tonight, so we're going to have Jack and Vivian go first.
Hi, everybody. My name's Jack, for those of you that didn't get to meet me at the last meeting. And over the last few weeks, Vivi and I have been speaking with students from across all 3 schools, and we've asked them about their concerns or even wishes for improvement in our school. And our first topic today would be Tiger News. So in the middle school, their students are required to watch Tiger News in the morning, but some of the information doesn't apply to middle schoolers. So like only high school sports are mentioned in Tiger News in the morning. So students have proposed maybe a middle school Tiger News in its own, or including middle school information that's relevant to them into the Tiger News report.
Next topic would be backpacks. So a lot of the students are feeling frustrated or just a little confused as to why they can't carry their things without backpacks, or why they have to carry their things without backpacks since there are now the metal detectors. Another topic around that realm is a lot of students would like a little bit more time between class periods because they need to frequently stop at their lockers and there's a lot of like gap time between if you have classes across the school. So that's another concern that they had. And then the girls' locker room, this was resolved, but there were an issue with the toilets being like uneven and like rickety in there, but that was resolved.
And now we have some student achievements. Both boys and girls soccer teams went to state playoffs this year, and the boys soccer team made school history by winning their first district championship in 20 years. Multiple girls soccer players were named to PHAC honorable mentions and the first and second team. The first team consisted of Kaylee Helwig, Kennedy Reamer, Harper Thompson, and Rosie Martino. The second team was Mason Wank, Alyssa Connor, and Olivia Jones. And for the honorable mentions, we have Lola Checo and Michaela.
Another thing that happened this month was the students in the elementary school, they were paired with students of different grades for their school-wide positive behavior support. and they had a great time bonding with each other. Older students did a great job with the younger students and vice versa. Then some more achievements we had was Youth in Philanthropy, the new club. They made their first appearance at their first conference type thing. And they learned about choosing how to distribute the grant money and who that will go to.
We also have students that participated in WBIA Scholastic Scrimmage, where they beat Selinsgrove, Mount Carmel, but then they lost to Berwick. This was the first time that we had won any rounds in 3 years in the Scholastic Scrimmage.
To finish off here, students also participated in Veterans Day Assembly. Many students were successful in talking in front of the school. Elementary school students shared poems and thoughts about the sacred day. Middle school and high school students both won writing and speech contests for the Veterans of Foreign Wars. Relay and middle school gifted students also did a great job serving the veterans at the lunch. That's all for us.
So Vivian and Jack, just a couple of things. On the backpacks, I know that was brought up last month, and that is the discussion that's going on administratively right now. And then once the administrative team has a chance to kind of come together on an opinion on that, then Mrs. Shrub and I will talk, and then we'll board and the admin team will talk. So please know that we hear that and we understand the sentiment of the metal detector being here. Can we do something different? It is a big decision and it's a big conversation. So please know that even though nothing has changed since it was brought up the first time, that it is an active discussion and we appreciate you bringing it to us. The toilets. So as soon as I got your report last week about the toilets, I sent it to Mr. Tom Cabbage and Mr. Hajnowski and was like, hey, does anyone know anything about these toilets? And nobody knew, but they went down and there was one that needed some quick adjustment and Mr. Tom Cabbage's team took care of it. So if you guys could be the stewards of the message to your classmates, it would be awesome that if you see something, say something like an airport. There are a lot of things around here that people touch and use, and if they're not using it themselves, then they have no idea that that toilet is wobbling because the Tom Cabbage is using the toilet and so honestly, like, don't hesitate to say like, hey, Mrs. Strongman, the toilet is wobbling, or hey, this isn't right. We post, so based on feedback from Save Day, when Cindy and I were here 2 years ago and people were unhappy with the conditions of the bathroom, we had to put the QR codes outside the bathroom. Are they anywhere else on campus? Can we like put those QR codes in some other places just to try to encourage student use of that to report things like wobbly toilets?
Sure.
Yeah. And I think that was all
Okay. Kind of on that like same thing. Would it be all right? Like it just like came to my mind because we were talking about the QR codes. But would we be able to have like a link across school or something to like, hey, if you like a student and you have a concern, like report.
Oh, like to you guys?
Yeah, survey
like
or something.
So we're not just like asking like a few select people.
Yeah.
It's like
That was a conversation I was going to have with you about finding a way to get more diverse opinions. Because I think a lot of the feedback we've gotten come from some of the similar pockets of kids. So yeah, let's do that.
Mr. Davis would be happy to.
Yeah, I think a survey that we can send out to the students, we can come up with some questions together. We can sit down, the four of us, and we can talk about that, and then we can send it out so we can get a broader group of students. I think it's a great idea. Okay, and then also in my report, I have some other things that I would like to give recognition to, which Jack stole my thunder about soccer. So I echo what Jack just said. And then we also have on here, and Jack, since you're here, Center for American Gun Violence Prevention Summit. So Jack is eligible to go to this, and Ms. Boris would go along with him to this as well. So we would like for you to approve that. Jack, would you like to talk about that? Or I'm putting you on the spot.
Well, you have a specific question about it.
Well, can you tell us anything about it?
So from what, I'm still trying to get all the information myself.
Okay.
But from what the trip is, I will be going down to Washington on December 10th, and I will be sitting in a panel to speak about the progress in mental health and gun violence prevention. So I'm not totally sure who I'll be speaking with yet next to me, but that's generally like the layout of it. I'll be sitting in a panel in front of an audience talking for, I think it's 8:30 in the morning, and it should be over around 5 in the afternoon.
Thank you. And then we also have our cheerleaders here to speak to us. Girls, are you ready?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Leona Murphy and Skylar B. We are the captains of the sideline and competitive cheerleading teams. We are here today to ask your permission to allow us to attend the NCAA National High School Cheerleading Competition in Fort Worth, Texas. We will leave on Thursday, January 22nd, and we will come back on Monday, January 26th, with the competition being on the 24th and the 25th. This competition gives us the opportunity to compete against some of the best teams in the nation. It would be a great opportunity for every team member. Our team's off to a winning start this season, and it is in our hopes that we get better and better in preparation for this competition and to even be a contender for the title.
We understand that the cost of the trip is our financial responsibility and have worked hard to raise the money necessary. We also understand that each team member is responsible for any schoolwork missed. Every team member is a current honorable or distinguished honorable member, and each understands the importance of academics. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, girls. And last is the Positive Leaders Club, which this is our life skills students, and they're going to work together across all grade levels, K to 12, as a team to create some positivity for our life skills students. They could not be here tonight with us. We're also asking for you to approve this club here tonight. And then last up, I have SiteLogic is here to provide us with an update. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, thank you. We appreciate you having us back. I wanted to just give you guys a little update on what we've been working on. I know Jill shares her updates that I provide weekly. So I think you guys are pretty close, pretty in touch with what's going on. But just to go over some of the options, we're still proceeding with the 2-option approach. The first option would be refurbishing the tank. The 2 existing tanks. Some of the things associated with that are going to be cutting access into that. We've talked about that the manway is only like 13 inches by 16 inches. So we're going to be cutting new openings into the tank. We're going to be replacing all the tapping, all the taps in the tank, the inlets and outlet piping, the tank leveling taps. Those will all be cut out and replaced. Sandblasting the interior and exterior of the tank and repainting. And then providing an epoxy coating on the inside of the tank that's approximately 3 to 4 inches thick that would line the inside of the tank. So those are some of, I'm sorry, we're going to install a baffle in the tank as well. That is to meet the DEP requirements for the contact time with the chlorine. So we're going to be doing that. And then we're going to be pouring a new floor over the dirt floor in a gravel vapor barrier and a concrete floor in that room. And then providing some, and then there's some common options that are associated with both projects. The existing well pump's going to remain. We're going to clean up the room completely. There was a lot of abandoned piping over the years that was cut off and abandoned in that room. So we'll remove all that piping, patch walls, just clean that room up in general. Provide new booster pumps. There was abandoned booster pumps, so we're going to be removing 2 sets of booster pumps, installing a new triplex booster pump system, and then repiping the chlorination system, the existing chlorination system. And then the one interesting note, we did collect numerous water samples. Those came back pretty consistent. I think we had 3 different samples that was obtained. They came back pretty consistent. The interesting thing, there was no recommendation to provide a water softener at this time. The hardness was just marginally high, and the pH was low. So the concern with adding a water softener to a system that has low pH is that it'll actually lower the pH more, and the water will become more corrosive and can damage some of your piping. So at this time, we're just going to recommend installing a duplex or a dual cartridge filter system instead of the water softener, which should save on budget too. The other approach would be cutting up the existing tanks and providing 12 new plastic tanks at 1,100 gallons apiece. We're going to have to make some modifications to the existing boiler room to get the tanks out, but we don't anticipate that being a problem. It's going to be labor intensive, but I still think it's feasible. And then And then some of the other things, we're gonna be doing the same thing in this option as well, providing a new, the new Dubois, or triplex pump system. And the filter, and you can see that's the tank arrangement on the screen. The 12 tanks will be kind of in the same footprint of the existing tanks. The filters are down in the lower right corner. Yeah, the filters are down there. New floor, we'll use existing concrete tank supports. We'll reuse those and kind of build up a housekeeping pad to set the new tanks on. So that'll be higher than the new floor. And the tanks will sit on that. And that's the new booster pump that you're looking at. That's the existing chlorine tank that we're going to reuse and just reconnect. And then to the left, there's some piping that's going to need to be relocated or disconnected temporarily to get those tanks out. If you go up the page there, the booster or the two pumps right there are going to be disconnected temporarily to make access. The box above that is an air compressor that's going to be unbolted from the floor and moved out of the way to make access. So in general, I think we're expecting. We did receive some costing for the tank lining, so we're factoring that in now. The bids are in contractors' hands. The drawings have been released to contractors, and we're expecting pricing back the first week of December. Are there any questions on?
What's the reason for having 12 tanks? I mean, is that the largest they can?
Well, it's because of access.
Okay.
So we need to have smaller tanks to get those into the building because we have limited access with just the double doors. So I think the tanks are like 5 foot diameter. So
Well, we saw a fair amount of corrosion and things like that on faucets, and I feel like that's an issue that we've had for a long time.
Right.
Is that filter system that you're installing, is that gonna eliminate that?
I don't think it's going to necessarily eliminate some of that. And we did talk with Scott. There is two options that we looked at actually raising the pH. Like the water company that we're working with right now said they weren't really concerned with it. I mean, it was borderline. So if we want to raise the pH, and we're going to have the water analysis company come back and take monthly samples. So while monitoring that, if the pH begins to get any lower, we can't. There's two methods. We can install an injection of some chemicals, and that involves going back and removing the DEP. But there's also like filter media, a media filter that we can install that does not require DEP.
Yeah, I think that we want to capture that corrosion and we don't necessarily want to go back and then add things and go back through DEP and cost more. Right. Like we want to capture it now. So if we need to get a third opinion, we should do it now.
Okay. The filter system doesn't require DEP. But our approach now was going to be to not install that media filter. Just monitor the water analysis and then if that changes, that filter system can be added.
We just need to understand what's causing the corrosion and capture it now.
Right. Okay.
Do we know what's causing it? Is it the low pH?
That's
the working assumption.
That's what we're thinking, right? I think the other thing that discolored water, like either it's coming from the well, which the filter system will help, or some sediment in the bottom of the tanks, which obviously put in a liner or replacing the tanks. Take care of it.
Great. So that's our best guess why the water's red.
Yeah, that's what we think. Right.
By the 3 to 4 inch thick liner.
That's what the proposal. That's just a standard that it came back with. I've not personally been involved with the tank lining projects before, so that's I guess their standard. That's a thick. Yeah, I'm surprised I saw it too.
Yeah, it's also to kind of like support the integrity of the tank. Because when we did a ultrasonic testing, there was a little bit of variation around the tank, and this is to kind of average it out so that it's consistent and filled.
If you don't mind asking that, because when we looked at that, it seemed like it was maintained that 1/4 inch to 3/8 of an inch thick steel, which was fine because it's it's at atmospheric, not under pressure. 3 to 4 inch plastic. Yeah, I have no idea what on earth that was before. I just said this.
Yeah. I think
Like an
plastic.
Everfill? Yeah, we can ask them.
Epoxy.
Yeah.
I'm saying plastic tank of that size wouldn't have that thickness.
No, no, the
The
plastic
new
tank.
tanks now, they're absolutely.
Yeah, so why put one on the inside or a metal one that's even?
We can certainly,
Yeah.
you know, we don't want one, choose the back feet.
So the questions, we're not currently chlorinating the system, right?
Yeah.
We are currently chlorinating?
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what
there is coordination.
Okay, that's that. And then, yeah, we got on October 17th update that said Phoenix Water came back and said the water was, quote, very hard. Sounds like it's not necessarily very hard. I'm not sure.
Well, I think there was some misunderstanding that the middle school actually is farther than the high school. The high school was borderline or larger than the high school. So we had new samples taken. And they took 2, one before the tank and one after the tank.
Okay.
And that's taking it back with it. It was just marginally.
Lip schools fed off the same tanks, right?
Let's just set up a time. Maybe we can sit down and get on a conference call and we can go through this.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, certainly.
it just seems like there's 2 different paths here, different stories. We need to get our heads wrapped around it because we want to capture it now. That's the big thing. We're going to capture the problem. We don't want to spend all the money and then down the road find out that, oh, our faucets still froze and all the energy back. So we just want to make sure we capture it all.
Yeah, understood.
Like, I just have a quick question. So I know in past meetings, Josh, you had mentioned when they're cutting the access panel to make it bigger, and if you're inspecting the tanks to see if they're good or not, and then if they are, you know, maybe down the road, is this access panel going to remain an access panel, or is it just that it's going to be permanent, a permanent access to the tank? Okay, yeah. Thank you.
That's if we go that.
Sure, right, yeah. I just don't, I just love it, and then.
Yes,
No, we don't know which.
yeah, so there's, do we want to go back? to one?
Sure.
Just really quick.
I'm just trying it.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so just kind of, you know, as we move forward, what we're trying to articulate here is in addition to all the work that you see, part of the project delivery ensures the following to the district, where you will get all the on-site project management, all of the professional design services. There's no change associated with this. So just want to make that clear that the final contract price that you receive in December is the project price. What the motion tonight that you're considering allows the district to do is it's the safety net that you have provided for the district to continue to be priced, to have those 2 options priced. And so even though you're approving a not to exceed number, the final contract price we know will be lower than that, but we're still working with the contractors to receive those numbers. And then the week of December 8th, we will have those 2 options with the full price to consider for you to make a selection on. And then the very next week, almost as soon as you elect to decide on a project option, we will submit that application to DEP. So this is a little bit of a timing concern in terms of it's 120 days until approval from DEP. That's why we're trying to get you this information as soon as we can so you can make a timely selection. So we should ensure that we're coordinating any discussions that you would like to have, maybe as soon as next week, depending on availability and who should be there, so we can continue to make sure that contract, if we have to provide any additional information to contractors, that they'll have it in hand prior to that final price coming.
Melissa, could we just do it at our 12 o'clock meeting on Friday? We have a 12 o'clock meeting, a standing meeting every Friday, so we could just do a Zoom link.
Yeah, I think if that time works for everyone, we're happy to kind of talk about that. Okay. And then
I think we would want to make sure we can, that our consultants for the tank are available as well. If you're going to have questions specifically about the thickness of the epoxy and things of that nature. I think you have
level of water.
Be in contact, Jim, with you tomorrow and I can let them know right away. Like you can let me know if that works for them and then I can set it up.
Yeah, well, does this mean we have to vote on this at the reorg meeting since we don't meet again in December?
Well, if you vote tonight, we would just say which one we're gonna do then.
You don't have to read.
You don't have to re-vote. We're voting for it tonight.
And then you,
The board approves the project,
Correct.
not to exceed that. We don't know which project we're doing. For sure, we will decide that, but we won't have to vote on it.
Correct. You just don't,
Yeah, a seamless transition of your decision into.
you don't have to worry about that. That's why we worded it this way.
And that was published where?
so Facebook, on our website, and anyone who wanted to come to the district office and obtain a
It
comment.
wasn't required to be put anywhere. Is that correct?
We just had to post it.
Did it have to post this?
Yep.
We put it out on social media. We didn't put it in the paper because it's long and would cost like
Correct.
half a tank.
Yes.
Not quite as much.
That's a good way to say it. I like that. Half a second.
That's how we'll just price everything. We'll base it on this project. So just to kind of articulate at a higher level, what you can expect, let's say, over the next, the course of the project is, approving the project, finalizing everything in December in terms of the project, the cost of the project, DEP application. That also will trigger us to start procuring equipment. That equipment has a long lead time, so we want to ensure it's on site in a timely manner ahead of school being dismissed in the summer. And then we will continue to procure other items and coordinate contractors January through March. So sometime around May, we can begin project implementation.
Any more questions? Okay. Superintendent's report is finished.
All right, so moving on to the administrative reports, everyone has had a chance to view the admin reports that were on board docs over the weekend. And who makes this pretty little thing we get now? Ashley. I like to do that we get with all of the highlights from the different administrators' offices. I had some questions and just some things I thought were important or interesting to me that I wanted to shout out, and then I'll open it up to anyone else who might have an admin question. I was wondering from Mr. Craw and Mr. Kiefer, how many students in your buildings were opted out of the behavioral health screener?
Currently in the elementary, we're at 10. And as of this afternoon, we are at 16 in the middle school.
Okay. And something that I saw in Mrs. Gunn's report that I thought was awesome was the positive phone calls home. I think that's great. So 63 kids in the elementary school, 16 kids in the middle school who are being referred by staff members for doing the right thing. And we're not just saying, hey, you did a good job, or just expecting that from kids. We're letting somebody at home know they're doing a good thing. I think that's awesome. And I've heard lots of proud parents having conversations about it in the community. So I want you to know that I think that recognition is meaningful to families. I also was super excited to see on your report about the end of marking period survey for emotional support. I think it's a great objective way to align the special ed teachers and the regular ed teachers in some of these really high intensity, high stakes situations, to have some concrete data that you can work on to make sure that you're servicing kids the best you can and supporting your staff the best you can. And then for Mrs. Wilby, I think the school meet data was awesome. 38,000 check-ins. We're doing what we're supposed to be doing. It sounds like we're not just using it for the check-ins, we're also using it for some of the content like guidance and things like that, which is great that we're getting it as much as we can from the program. And that we're working to address responses to school beat in a timely manner. The one thing I was just wondering, has there been any evidence of teachers identifying disconnects between students' school beat surveys and their affective behavior in the classroom? Because I think that there's a good chance that some kids are just like, I don't want to talk to anybody. I'm great. I'm good. I'm great. And then you sit in the classroom and you're not great and you're not good. Is anybody making sure that the math is mapping on that?
I think teachers are. We aren't taking a solid look at it, but I think we could start. And we could start with our intervention staff and our guidance staff, and even talking with our teachers. I think principals would have a good pulse on that. But I do think that that would be worth looking into.
Yeah, because I think one of the really valuable things about School Beat is it helps us maybe identify some of those quieter kids or those internalizers, but then there's just another level of those students who are gonna say like, I'm good, I got it, or I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to make sure that we're not missing it.
One of the things that Amy and I did when we talked to our rep from the company, we brought up to them and asked them how, you know, how they thought we were using it. That's where we got this data from, because we asked them, like, since you're using with other schools, what can you tell us about our data? And then we followed up with, because Mr. Hyanaski and I talked about, we're having some trouble with some of our high school kids wanting to do it. So I asked the lady, I said, can you please tell us, is that happening? Well, I would say we're using it well, K through 8. I think we're struggling to get our high school students to take it seriously and fill it out. So I think we're working hard and we're trying to come up with different ways to do it, like as a group versus individual, and making sure that it's meaningful and that we are taking it seriously. But I think she told us she would get back to us to ask how other high schools are doing it. So Amy, I'm not sure if you heard from her yet.
I didn't yet.
Okay, I didn't either. To see if she could give us some feedback, but she was very impressed with our data. And that's why when she sent it to us, we wanted to make sure that we shared it with you.
Yeah, I think it was really impressive.
High school's trending positively now. We're getting up to the same levels as in middle and elementary, so.
Any other board members have questions or comments for the administrators? Moving on to committee reports then. Josh Majesty, facilities.
Facilities met November 10th. We had a presentation and discussion from Tyler Technologies for student ridership bus tracking. We also had a discussion related to site logics progress and the motion that's on the agenda tonight.
Josh Hoagland, finance.
Yeah, so finance last week, discussed monthly invoices, spent a good bit of time discussing facility fee schedule. You should see tonight, I believe, the enrollment, staffing, study motion that is put on each year. Reminder about the December bills to approve things with 5 days or less, since we don't meet as often in December, we're meeting early. Also note that the state finally passed a budget really close to the July 1st deadline. So we're excited that that money is flowing. We did lose virtually a substantial interest income and having to use our own responsibly saved outlays. But it does look like that budget is pretty much in line with what we had in our own. And there was some reforms, at least in the right direction of what we've been asking for. So.
Just a couple things. From what I understand, I guess they got the transfer switch in and generator is going to be basically put online. The social media lawsuit that was floating around with school districts, they can't attend because of they're basically under dissenting schools, so they're the ones that are going to be able to do that. The greenhouse is up. They're still working on getting that online, but it looked good. They got an SME grant for $5,000 for consumables. There's still some issues with the piping, sewer, and the cafeteria, so they figured they're going to have to remove the floor sometime to repair that. And their maintenance guy, basically, they're now trying to buy a lot of stuff in bulk and are basically saving about 5% on that program. So that's what I got.
There is a labor relations meeting tomorrow with the teacher contract negotiations. We don't have a fact finder assigned yet. We're hoping for one tomorrow. The 45 days will not start until we have a fact finder assigned. So that's where we are with that. And on the agenda for tomorrow night we hired an assistant principal, and that salary is in the budget. Came in a little under. So there's a little cushion. So that'll be on our agenda to approve that tomorrow night. Activities. Congratulations to all the fall coaches. Good luck to the football team. Our field hockey first year. I got a lot of positive feedback. Our coach put in a lot of work and she's really excited about moving forward. We talked about the cash option for the sporting events, and I think we're gonna have to discuss that in executive tonight. And, Henry said that he's had some interest in the golf team. We currently have one golfer who is co-oping with Danville. We have some interest, so we're gonna do a survey after the holidays, first in January, to see if there's any other interest. Henry talked with Knobles, for our golf team to golf there, and then we would just need a coach, and we already have a staff member who would like to coach. And Justin would like to assistant coach. So, hired. And that's it for activities.
Mrs. Brassington, real quick, our insurance carrier got back to us and they did say that elementary wrestling offsite practices are covered under our insurance policy.
Negotiations and personnel, nothing new this month. Wellness committee, nothing, but it sounds like Mr. Roselli is going to take that initiative over and
Yes,
do it in earnest on a quarterly basis.
we will. Yep.
Okay. CSIU hasn't been a meeting since we talked last, and I will miss this monthly meeting on Wednesday for a scheduling conflict, and Tony is not here for PSBA. Oh, Drew, I'm sorry. Sorry, Drew. I know you love to talk. Freaking.
Couple updates we added to, we're going to be voting on the archery program. Is supported by grants that were awarded, continuing the vertical curriculum alignment, and that was about it.
Before we move on to the business part of the meeting, I just want to remind everybody, as we discussed last week, we did have an executive session last week following the meeting for negotiations, and we will have one tonight for negotiations and personnel. Moving on to the treasurer's report, chair's looking for a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
So moved.
Motion by Justin. Second by Jim. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed. Moving on to minutes and invoices, can we do A and B as a block?
Sure.
Chair's looking for a motion to approve items, minutes, and invoices A and B.
So moved.
Motion by Josh Majeski.
Second.
Second by Drew. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed. Moving on to items fiscal, can we do A through E as a block?
I think we'll be,
Okay. Can we do A, C, D, and E as a block? We do A, C, D, and E as a block?
Sure.
Chair's looking for a motion to approve items fiscal A, C, D, and E. Motion by Jim.
Second.
Second by Kendall. Any discussion?
Yeah, high school flooring quote, I mean, I know there was some question as to, is it, whose fault was it that certain things happened, but this quote is basically, it was at the end of its life regardless.
Correct.
So it's not really hey, they screwed up the top coat, it's, we needed to redo the whole thing regardless.
You got it.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Moving on to items fiscal B, chair's looking for a motion to approve item fiscal B.
So moved.
Motion by Justin,
Second.
second by Cindy. Any discussion? Again, I think we had a lot of discussion about this over the last several months. We had quite a bit of discussion about it at the facility and finance meeting last week. Anything anyone else has to say about it before we vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed.
nay.
Moving on to items personnel, can we do A through J as a block?
Sure.
Chair's looking for a motion to approve items personnel A through J.
Motion.
Motion by Cindy,
Second.
second by Kendall. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed. Then you will abstain and fill out the form for item personnel K. Chair's looking for a motion to approve item personnel K. Motion by Josh Hoagland, second by Josh Majeski. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Are you sure that's enough? You want to do this?
Those opposed.
Either for negotiating.
Thanks. Thanks for putting up with us, Ashley. So there were no opposition, correct? 8 in favor. Moving on, items, policy, and programs. Can we do A through K as a block?
Sure.
Chair's looking for a motion. Yes, we're good with that. Chair's looking for a motion to approve items, policy, and programs A through K. Motion by Hannah.
Sorry.
Second by Josh Majeski. Any discussion?
Yeah, just one plan. There's a couple of field trips on here. Those are fully funded by those groups or outside groups. So there's no school money going for a couple of those. And kudos to those students for doing hard work to be able to help self-fund and get these extra opportunities.
Enrollment and staffing study, just for everyone's recollection, that's something we do every year. It's not me.
And I'm working on that.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed. Moving on to board comments, I wanted to thank everybody who was involved in the Veterans Day Assembly. It's my favorite school event every year. And as always, everyone, staff and students did a great job. Also want to recognize Tony and Justin. It's their last meeting. Well, that's his last physical meeting here with us. Tony's not here this evening. Thank them for all of their time and dedication the last few years. You guys run the school board in the worst time in the history of civilization to be on the school board during a pandemic, where there were just the lesser of evils is pretty much what you were dealt during the time here. But I appreciate all of the effort and time and your personal time that you put into it. Your perspective that everybody didn't always have to agree, but we could come together to make decisions that we thought or hoped were in the best interest of our students and staff. And I'm grateful to know that even though you guys don't sit at this table anymore, you are invested members of our community and parents, and that if there's something that you're concerned about, you will bring productive conversations to whoever sits at this table. And congratulations to Jill and Blaine, who will join us in December. Any other board comments?
I just agree. Thank Justin and Tony if you're listening. Thank you both very much. I know I'll keep seeing you around, so you're not getting away totally.
And Ashley and I learned, Justin, that you are invited to the dinner in December. So you should attend. You should come. And Justin, thank you. I echo what Bree said. It's been a pleasure working with you.
Probably the most important thing I have to say tonight is the Veterans Day ceremony is fantastic. That was the second year I went to it. It's really great seeing the kids go up front. It's really great seeing what they put on to support the community. My only hope for that is it gets bigger as time moves on, because it is a great event. And thanks Josh for telling me that I should go to it 2 years ago, because that's what turned me to it, and I won't miss it. All veterans in the district, whether you went to school here or just now live in it, come to it. And also I need to find out who you speak to about the adding alumni veterans to it, because I have 2 uncles that should go on that list for that presentation as well. They don't live in the area anymore, but they both served. So really support that. I think that's one of my favorite things, even with everything else great that goes on here. I want to pass on a sentiment to the admin team, because it's been a real blessing working with all of you since you've come on. It's really great seeing all the positive things they do in the district and have done for the district. Even though most people sitting at home don't realize how much effort they're putting into what they do on a daily basis, it's there. As Bree said, although things don't seem to happen fast, there's different things that are working in motion and progress on. So thank you, admin team. You guys don't get the credit you deserve from many parents, and I'm really sorry to hear that when I speak to some publicly, but it really means a lot to me what you do, and to see that from my position that I held. I'm grateful for it, all 3 of you, and then you guys over there in the front office too. Jill, continue to push forward. It's been great working with you since you've taken the position. Mr. Snyder, keep that business office in line.
Got it.
The rest of you, supporting all the above, special ed, Cassie in your new position, and Crystal, just good work and keep doing what you're doing. It means a lot to the kids and to the families that you support. Lastly, to the public, if any of you think this is easy, run in 2 years. And, you know, as Josh is always challenged, and anyone else here, is when election time comes around, if you have a voice and you want to use it and you want to try to make a difference or see a difference or be a part of trying to do something, then run, step forward. It's not the worst decision you'll ever make. It is not. It can be busy, but it's a really great opportunity to even learn. If you have interest in anything government at all, it's a great place to learn and get your feet wet and see where you want to go from there. So thank you to everyone. So I appreciated my time here. I appreciate all of you very much, even the one down there that barely speaks. And the guy who always has one more question. But it's been an honor serving this board in this school district, and I'm not going away by any means. I just get to be more of the pest than the person that sits up here with any real weight. So thank you all.
You will be missed, Justin. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin.
Thank you, Justin.
Any other board comment this evening?
We were remiss if I didn't congratulate our boys and girls soccer teams. I had the opportunity to come out and watch the boys in that first round of state. Just what a fantastic game. Sorry we couldn't be down with the girls simultaneously that night, but congratulations to both of them on an absolutely fantastic season, and hopefully it just keeps building.
Moving on to recognition of the public. At this time, we'll accept comments from district residents or property owners that are here in person. No public comment.
You got nothing?
All right. Hearing none, chair's looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Josh, second by Josh. All those in favor? Those opposed?
I don't. This one says,